Alright, here we go. Round one, I am on the draw, and, ugh, might not be able to play the Typhoid Rats, but I've got three lands. Like I said, I'm on the draw, I'm gonna keep this. Loose-ish keep. But, let's see what we can do. Uh-oh. Nope. Alright, sweet. Research Assistant, that's actually really sweet. Hopefully my opponent doesn't kill it right away, because I'm gonna need you to do some work, Assistant. Okay, that's fine. Oh, just a turn too late. That's okay though, because Research Assistant is going to be able to bring the beats on. And then next turn, I'm going to be able to play a land, and I'll actually be able to have a turn 4 Wild Forge Golem. Sure. Opponent's got a 2/3. Play a Typhoid Rats. Play an island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and pass the turn. Yeah, like I said, next turn I'm going to be able to have a Willforged Golem, which is just sweet. It's really surprising how often just 4 power, or rather 4 toughness, is just massive. It is ridiculous how big that is. No, no, doesn't want to trade Poo. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, see, now this 4 power is... It's really unfortunate that my opponent played a 2/3 and then a 2/2, but what you gonna do? Okay, sure. Gain some life. That's fine. I guess I could technically play that. My mana isn't so intensive that I need it. 1, 2, 6, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what convokes. Nissa's Expedition does. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, too bad this doesn't have convoke. That would be sweet. Ooh, alright. I see what my opponent's getting at. Bringing the beats. Bringing the beats. So I've got 5. Hmm. How do I want to play this? I can start making things unblockable. I think it's best just to be the most mana efficient, play a flyer, because my opponent doesn't have much to be able to do in the way of killing it right now. What attacks might attack and makes it so that the Willforged Golem can't block. And then I block my opponent's Willforged Golem with the Typhoid Rats. Cone of Flame would suck here. Actually, it wouldn't be all too bad because it kills one of my things. Interesting way for my opponent to tap. Oh, pass the turn. Stab Wound. Stab Wound's actually pretty sweet. I could put it on the spider. It is unfortunate. I forgot to look at this. This does have reach, obviously, being the spider. I can Stab Wound a Willforged Golem and just try and ride that to victory. Or I could Stab Wound the Netcaster Spider. I think I might even want to try and Stab Wound this Willforged Golem, because I can handle a 2/2. And that seems decent enough to me. Plus, I'd be taking the same amount of damage if my opponent chooses to attack. Or I could just block it forever with the Research Assistant. Yep, take that 2 damage. I am not whatsoever above having a Stab Wound do 22 points of damage. Uh-oh. If you make the 3/3/3s, I'm toast. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sure. No? Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, discard. I like the looting. This guy's gonna actually be pretty sweet, assuming I draw a land sometime soon, because then I could just keep bouncing the Netcaster Spider and get in for a couple points of damage. That combined with Stab Wound might be able to get me there. Okay. Yes. I will take... I will take no damage. If my opponent has a pump, then sure, my opponent has a pump. Gather Courage. Okay. That's fine. Not that upset about that. Living Totem. Alright. Well, I can gain 3 life from that. Pass the turn. Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Capsho Kite Fins. Yes, please. Oh, this is so annoying having to resize this, but whatever. Let's bounce that spider. Don't really want to bounce any of these other things. That's super easy to play. This means my opponent gets to draw another card, and this blocks my flyer. Okay. Oh, it just taps it. It's not bouncing it. Oh, okay. That's fine. Begin combat. Declare attack with just the flyer for now, because that's all I need to be attacking with. And pass the turn. This guy holds back all of my opponent's team with the exception of this, because my opponent probably just wants to get this traded off. Okay. Ooh, that's spicy. I like that. Foil Soul of Zendikar. Alright. It just has reach, it doesn't have trample. Sweet. Okay, well, guess I'm taking 2. And passing the turn. So, I can not get through anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and then I can give something unblockable. I like that. What do I want to tap? Sure. Tap that. That's fine. And let's give this Convoke guy unblockable. Because I don't even these things still hold back the same types of creatures. Begin combat. Yes. It still holds back the same types of creatures. And this does an additional point of damage. The Nimbus can block whatever. Same with the Capsho blocking things. My opponent being able to make a bunch of beasts is a rather unfortunate, but... Are we making a beast here? Phytotitan? Blast Firebolt. Alright. That happens. That indeed happens. Oh, I want to be able to block the soul with this Death Touch guy. And then just have it, and then be able to just eat it. Wait, what? You're tapped out. Unless you have the Convoke trick. Okay. No, that's fine. Another one of those Gather Courage. So, stalemate it appears. I can gain 3 and then tap something down. I'm just gonna wait for this because there's a chance that I can um, play 2 creatures in a turn. And if that's the case, then I want to be able to tap both of the flyers down to be able to get in there. Or both of the reach creatures down to be able to get in there. Thus far, opponent's 4-turn clock. Okay. Oh, I'll discard a Rummaging Goblin. You don't want one of those? Right now, my opponent can attack with this, choosing to make the Typhoid Rats unblockable. Okay. Yes. Two drop plus... No. Okay. So there's probably not a trick if that's the case, unless my opponent doesn't mind trading. That's fine, because I'm ahead on this race, plus I have the ability to gain 3 at minimum here. I will take the 2. That's fine. Like I said, best case scenario, I draw a 2-drop, and I'm able to hit my opponent for 6. Scuttling Doom Engine, that is unfortunate. That's actually incredibly unfortunate. Okay, so how do I do this? If I hit my opponent down, if I play the Rot Feaster Maggot, then I'm able to tap down the Soul of Zendikar. I gain 3 life, I go up to 15. I can then attack. If I attack with everything, one of the flyers gets through. So this is tapped. One of the flyers gets through, my opponent goes down to 4, but then I don't survive next turn, because my opponent attacks for 6, makes something unblockable. No, that's fine. So my opponent would have to do 15. These 2 would attack. My opponent hits. So I hit my opponent for 3. One of these dies. Probably this. And then I have this. My opponent attacks. Typhoid Rats can't block. And then my opponent is attacking for 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 12. 7 plus 12, 19. I block Scuttling Doom Engine with the Will Forged, and I block, so that's 19, wait, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 minus 6 is 14. I block, and then I block, I'd have to block this, trade this, and then that puts me 14, it puts me at 8, and then my opponent's dead. And then my opponent is dead on the next turn because of stab wound. So that's 5, 6, 7. That seems like a decent enough line. 3, 5. And actually, I could even gain 4. No, research assistance, so 1, 3. Sure. Tap the Soul of Zendikar. It's fine with me because this power 2 or less can't block. When it dies, I don't want it to die. And let's exile Living Totem. Okay. Yup. Sure, the pump spell that my opponent might have. Begin combat. Attack with these 2 things. The reach guy hits for 1. Or blocks this guy. Okay. Like I said, if there is a combat trick, the 6 that I would be taking... Oh, it still trades. I forgot about that. because it's 3 power. Um, the combat trick only does an additional 2 damage, but 14, that means it would put me to 10 and I would be at 5. So, oh, sure. Okay. That was the trick that we had? That's fine with me. Yep. So if my opponent has a way to gain life, then it's GG. Yeah, pass the turn, attack. This blocks here, this blocks here. I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. And pass the turn. And I believe Stab Wound should do it. Okay. And just having, I guess, any creature with more than 2 power is the insurance there. Oh, I didn't even consider the line where my opponent makes it so that this guy doesn't block. Crap. So then I would take 6. Ooh, dear. I didn't even think about that. So before I go to sideboard, if my opponent makes it so that, say, whatever, this thing can't block, this jumps in front of here, this jumps in front of here. No, same thing happens, because my opponent has to be able to... Okay. Cool, got there. So if my opponent has... that enchantment hate, it's definitely coming in now. And it looks like my opponent has things to do with stuff in the air. I didn't see any... Not, I saw the 2 combat tricks, so if I don't know if negate is necessarily where I want to be at. I could bring in Chronostutter for something like the Scuttling Doom engine, just to be able to get those last couple points in, because the game might be able to might go long like that. And that's actually seems like a pretty sweet idea. That or like Necrobite. I could see myself having to do that. My deck is already expensive, but I might be able to. I'm probably going to be able to get to 6 mana, and it's not a matter of having to block big things. It's a matter of just being able to get in front of my opponent. So Necrobite might not be the best choice. Ooh. I could. Oh, the question is, do I want to play Radiant Fountain? Can I cut like an island for a Radiant Fountain? Yeah, I'm on the 2 colors. Why not? Sure. I should have led with that. I mean, it's not so mana intensive. Hmm. Oh, that would be pretty sweet. I have enough flyers where that might not be too bad. But, you know, Negate's coming out actually for the Rogue's Gloves. Being able to just get in a couple times. The Chrono Starter looks like it's going to be too expensive, and it is just a matter of that card advantage game. So, here we go. Waiting for round 2. Oh, look, and it's already here. Alright, so let's see if we can get there. This hand looks really sweet. Alright, I'm ready. Definitely going to keep this. Yeah, let's keep a Rooney. Alright. Stab Wound. Okay. Stab Wound get me there. Oh no, 2-drop. Oh, well, sure. Ooh. Child of Night is actually better than the Research Assistant here. Yep. Stab Wound? Oh, I was going to say Stab Wound the wall, that would be sweet, but the opponent can just sack it at any time. Ugh. So, does my opponent have the combat trick? Well, if my opponent has it, then sure, they got my Child of Night. I am not all that disappointed. Yes, I gained my 2 life. Alright. Question is, I can Rogue's Gloves and Typhoid Rats. I can Research Assistant and Typhoid Rats. Actually, Typhoid Rats plus Rogue's Gloves is pretty sweet. Rogue's Gloves. Yep, there we go. Making my opponent have to block it. So either my opponent takes 2 or loses the wall. Sure. Shaman. Draw yourself a card. Speaking of drawing myself a card. It's a question of what game I want to play here. I think it might just be Research Assistant Pass. Do I want to trade the Child of Night with the Shaman? Yeah, it's not getting much better. I don't mind if they trade. Yep, it's done its duty. There we go. And if it actually ended up sticking around, then I got the trick out of my opponent's hand. I wouldn't mind drawing some land here. That would be A-okay in my book. Okay. Alright, that guy does some stuff. 3-2. Sure. Well. Well, Rogue's Gloves. I don't think I might not have enough flyers to be able to Rogue's Gloves to be good. I guess I should have realized that sooner. Ugh. Cancel. I don't want to just do nothing. Let's equip there and just force my opponent to block. If it trades with the Goblin, not the greatest, but okay. And if not, I draw a card. That would be cool too. Yep, that happens. And let's pass the turn. Alright, I'll take a land. Land me. Land. Ugh. Gross. Alright. Yes. Well. Well. Let's stab wound it. Taking 4 is better than taking 6. Rogue's Gloves, you didn't do much for me here. So what needs to happen? I need to draw. I definitely need to draw lands. I can just F6 here. That's the first thing. Yeah, my opponent takes 2. Okay. And then what do I play? If it's a blue, I might even just keep up Statute. Just because. Yes, I will take 4. Ooh, that 3/5 is going to be really good here if I can draw it. I mean, I need to draw the lands first, but Ornithopter. Really. Two. Well, I might be able to play the 4/4 eventually. Yep. Ornithopter, really. Why would you play that in this deck? Like, no. I don't get it. Yes, you've created a 3/3. Yeah, this is a part of this game where it starts getting run over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can play the golem. Yes. Taking 7 here. Woof. Alright, we're on a 3-turn clock. It's more like 2 because my opponent can keep making beasts. Peel. Um, hmm. Hmm. My opponent just makes a beast and nothing. I might just have to go to game 2. Yeah, I don't even want to show Peel. Yeah, well, let's see what my opponent does. If my opponent wants to reveal any of the other cards for me. This card is going to be sweet if I'm ahead to keep me ahead, but from behind it's not doing much to get me out of it. So 6-10. I think I'm just bleeding it out at this point. Ha, stab wound, bleeding it out. See what I did there? Okay. Yes. Sure. I'll go down to 3. Is my opponent gonna play anything else? No? Ooh, Island. Yeah, I'm dead from here. Let's draw a couple cards. Alright. Well, eventually would have gotten those lands. Let's see. Rose Gloves. Still, there was nothing negate worthy, so that's a clean side out. If I can get Rogue's Gloves onto like one of these flyers, then it's pretty sweeter. If I can get down there before my opponent can, then like I said, it's pretty sweet. But actually, how many I have 1, 2 flyers, 3, 2.5 flyers, and then making things unblockable. So maybe Rogue's Gloves isn't the solution. I really don't think Necrobite is, even though my opponent's probably not expecting it, and then I could kill some of the big things. Alright, there we go. Alright, hopefully we can get it in round 3. My opponent did a fine enough job of stopping me there. And oh, look, round 3 is here. Let's close this chat. I would most definitely like to play first. And I'll keep this. Has 4 lands, a 2-drop, or pardon me, 1, 3, 4. So that is not bad. I always like when I play my 1-drop on turn 1. Maybe get a couple points of damage in. Oh, you rats. You rats, you. And the way my opponent's deck plays, I might even be able to get 1, 2, 3 points of damage in. Alright. Sweet. Well, let's go to combat. Bah! Yup. Boom. Damage. And Island go. It's the first game my opponent didn't play anything until turn 4. Satyr Wayfinder. Alright, let's see the whiff. Okay. Ooh, revealed cards. Radiant Fountain, Forest, Goblin. So what do we put into our hand? Okay. Okay. Ooh, really? The life gain thing. That's the one we put in our hand. Okay. I can dig it. Let's create my two things. I got myself a squid. Squid and a 1/3. And unfortunately my Typhoid Rats isn't able to get 3 points of damage in like I had hoped. But here comes the shade. Interesting you'd play the forest unless you need green green. I know that you kept that. You should have just played that. Alright. Especially because I knew about it. Here we go. Golem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Four, 5, 6. Oh, let's pay this and this. Boom. 4, 4. Can you beat it? I think not. I'll still even take lands at this point. That's fine. I think that's interesting that when you're gaining life, it even looks like you're just getting slashed. It's the same animation. So if I attack with the Willforged Golem, my opponent can throw away the Satyr plus the Goblin, or the Goblin and the Shaman. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which I am fine with. The squid just... So if I attack like this, my opponent can can eat it, and then has to double block like that, can eat it here, and double block like that, that trades. This dies. No. It's fine. I'm okay with the 2 for 1 here, even if it's just these things. Or I can take 4, that's fine too. Or, pardon me, my opponent can take 4. Attacking with the Typhoid Rats too, it's potentially... I actually just end up doing 1 to my opponent. And I think here... Ooh, alright. I think here I'm actually tempted to just wait on the Capsho Kite Fins, or wait on the Zoff Shade, because I'm going to have to tap out to play the Kite Fins anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Next turn, because then I have a guaranteed follow-up to be able to tap whatever's played, and then attack for another 3. Oh, this plus this, I get 2 taps? That's pretty sweet. Okay. Alrighty, I like this position so far. My opponent does have a full grip, which is slightly terrifying. Okay, that isn't terrifying. That is slightly, just because it's really annoying. Can we convoke something, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can play Nissa's Expedition. Alright. That's the game we're playing here, because then you have a soul next turn. Oh, the totem has convoke. Interesting. I forgot about that part. That's pretty sweet. Okay. So we got a 4/3 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kite fins. I can tap that down. Okay. If my opponent chooses to block with a living totem, that's fine. I guess I could have also attacked with the Typhoid Rats, but then it just, sure, it eats it, or my opponent just takes the damage. Cool. And this way, my next play is actually going to be the Shadow Cloak Vampire, because then I can still tap down the Netcaster Spider, hit for 3, and then the turn after that I can pay the life and hit for 7. So hit for 3, hit my opponent down, and then hit my opponent down to 3 again, which is pretty good. This is a substantial board, but really a bunch of 2 and 3 butts bouncing into each other is relatively underwhelming. Stab Wound, though, changes my mindset just a wee bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's go for it. I still think this is the play, because you can't give anything instant speed reach. Tap that. Yes, please. And I still think we can hit for 3. And what, my opponent double blocks like this, so then I can kill the living totem on that. That's not that exciting. I'd much rather just hit for the 3. There we go. And then next turn, 3. Assume if I draw a land, I could play both the Shade and Stab Wound, which I don't even know if I still do that. I'm definitely playing the Shade next turn just to be able to get those points of damage in, and this is fine. Actually. Oh, Necrobite. So, my play might be to try and ride because I can't play both. I can't play the Shade and this. I can pay the 2 life to give it flying, but then these just end up trading. This trades. Or I can Stab Wound. I'm trying to think which line of play gives me the best, because I kind of want to get the last couple points via Stab Wound, not do it here and try and, because I feel like my opponent's board is just going to end up getting too big in terms of being too wide for me, that I'm unexcited to play it that way. Now my opponent blocks here like this and blocks this like this. This could trade. And then Necrobite there. I might just have to Stab Wound and then hope it gets me there. If I play another creature... Oh, if I play a creature, it taps the soul. Okay, if I play a creature, it taps the soul, and then I can go down to 18, attack with both of these, and then next turn I have Stab Wound up, plus being able to block things. This ends up trading with this, because my opponent doesn't want to be tapping things down, so then my opponent takes 4 potentially. Takes 4, goes down to 6, and then I just have to wait out 3 turns. Because my opponent doesn't attack because fear that. I think that gives me the best opportunity. I guess I could have played Stab Wound Plus. Zoff Shade. Yes, indeed. Tap that. Pay 2 life. Yes, please. Alrighty, here we go. I mean, maybe I am trying to be a little too cute with the stab wound, and maybe I should just kill something. Um, if my opponent does want to eat up the entire turn to try and make a beast, that's okay. I do have a bunch of blockers for it. And I am at a fairly high life total where, like, if my opponent does decide to swing, they're going to have to tank for a little bit to do the math, because I'll be able to be uh, pretty decent on the crackback. 2 card, sure. Gather Courage or the first strike. Sure, both of those get me. Well, they don't get me as in they do exactly what I wanted to do, and it actually gets a card out of my opponent's hand, which is fine. This is fine. Alright. Alright, Stab Wound. You did a lot for me game 1. I need you to do not quite as much, but still do a lot of work game 2. Or, pardon me, game 3. With my opponent still was able to rummage three times in the first game. I'm trying to think. Opponent attacks with this, makes it so that Typhoid Rats can't block. Just chump a squid in front of this guy. Um, block this with this. This I'm fine trading. Yeah, no, I'm still trade off. It trades off all of my creatures if I'm able to, or trades off all of my opponent's creatures if all of the good ones at least. If my opponent attacks and it's nowhere near lethal. This dies. This dies. This stays back. This dies. My opponent hits for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is not exciting. And then is gonna die to me constantly giving this thing flying. Ooh, alright, pass the turn. I like that. That is sweet. Necrobite. Necrobite, exactly. Yep. And then I think just leaving up lifelink, being able to give all of my things lifelink is gonna do a lot of work. I'm glad I saw at least one of these. Yep, make a beast, and I pass the turn. Nope. Okay, yep. My opponent makes a beast. Yes, and then my opponent ends up attacking for 4 with the soul. Not before going to 2. Or going to 4. And then as long as I can keep this around, I can just chump and just gain all of this life. Rock and Hard Space, actually. That's your only reach guy. Okay. On block, sure. Unless you have another reach thing, or a way to be able to kill this, then my opponent just dies this turn. Because I could just pay the 2 to give this flying. And the reason I chump with the squid there is I do want to be able to gain as much life or save as much life as possible, just in case things go haywire. Like, I do pay the 2 life to try and go for the win, and then my opponent, like, lightning strikes me. Lightning strikes this, then if I would have taken the damage, I guess it would have put me at a 14 and then 12. Okay, pay the 2 life. Combat. Do I win? Blast Firebolt. Sure. Forgot about that card. That's fine. 1, 2, 3. I'll play the land because if I do for whatever reason want a Necrobite, this allows me to do it twice and then have Necrobite up. Or to lifelink something twice and have Necrobite. Alright, so my opponent did have an answer to this thing getting flying. It's fine with me. Oh, something to keep in note, it also kills equipment too, so that Blastfire Bolt on, if I would have tried to Rogue's Glove it, ooh, that would have been a disgusting 2-for-1. But thus far, I know this is a relatively small sample size, being only 3 games, and this one's not even done, but I do like the way this deck is playing out, kind of stalling the board out, plus just even having the chance to be able to draw one of these, much as 2 of these. These things are just ridiculous, and I think if I can stall the board, in which I am, like against this, still being at 16 life, plus against the soul, I think I'm in an okay enough position. Where, sure, Chandra, obviously the bomb that she is, I don't think would have given me the stability necessarily that this deck gives me. So if there's like a naturalize, this sucks. Okay. You can block this to here. Okay, let's go to blocks. This can go here. And whatever, this can go here. No. Cancel. It's okay. No, I would like to give this thing lifelink, please. Oh, no. Let's undo this, because I have a feeling I want to target this first and then pay. Because I have a feeling I'm going to mess it up somehow and end up giving this guy lifelink, which is not what I want to do in this situation. Alright, got there. Yay. Oh, okay, well, yeah, that's the thing too. You sweet. 3-2 for 4. Yeah, I'll take it anytime. Alright, so game 1 win. Match 1 win. And sweet blue-black kind of controlish deck. I like it. See you in game 2.